Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Ooh-wee, what a day, what a day. First of all, congratulations to the WNBA Women's Basketball All-Stars for smacking down the Olympic team. A lot of those players felt like they got snubbed, and they got their comeuppance. Congratulations, ladies. If you guys have not heard by now, I'll be the first to tell you, or if you've already heard, I'm just going to reiterate. President Biden has dropped out of the running for this next year's election. If you haven't heard, now you heard. President Biden is no longer running for president. Instead, he has thrown his support behind Kamala Harris. Remember what I said yesterday? I mentioned her name. Now, I can't see the future, but I can make some pretty good guesses. Okay? It doesn't really change. It doesn't really change what I'm going to do. Like I've been telling you guys for months, for years. You vote against the guy you don't want to win. I'm voting against the bad guy. It doesn't really matter who the nominee is. Okay? You run, Biden had no choice but to put his support behind Kamala. You got to run with run with the one that brung you. Just like if you were at the prom. You got to dance at least once with the person that brought you to prom, or that you took to prom. And if you didn't, I'm letting you know you're a bad person. Okay? That you gotta run with the one that brought you. All right? So, what does this mean? Because right now, there's not a nominee to run against Trump. So I'm going to give you the pros and the cons. You want the good news or the bad news? Okay? I'm going to start with the bad news. Okay? Bad news. Kamala Harris, if she remains the nominee, which don't know if she will yet, but right now it's leaning that way, will white men come out to vote for a black woman? Will white women come out to vote for a black woman? Will black men come out to vote for this black woman? So, I can tell you now, if she has that strong, independent, don't need a man, it's not going to work nationwide. She's gonna have to soften that up. Gonna have to tuck that tail, baby. We learned with Bernie Sanders voters and Jill Stein voters. Bernie Sanders with the white men, they stayed home when Hillary ran. Jill Stein that had the white women, they stayed home, or they wrote in when Hillary was running. This is your second shot. I still blame you, Bernie voters and Jill Stein voters. I still blame you for us getting Trump the first time. This is your second shot. You get a second bite at the apple to make things right. Are progressives, are you going to put your vote where your mouth is, or are you going to stay home because you don't like whoever the nominee is? Are you going to let the bad guy win? This is on you. The math is real simple. The math is mathing. As long as all the same people show up and vote, they'll make sure that the bad guy doesn't win again. Okay? It's not that hard. All right? Now, let me give you some of the pros, some of the good news. Okay? One, you're definitely going to get the young turnout because they're very progressive. And you're definitely going to get somebody that's younger. That's what you wanted. Now you got somebody younger. The other thing is Trump, he can't do his normal thing. He can't do a nickname for Kamala Harris. You can't do Crooked Hillary or Crooked Biden or Adam Shifty Ship. You can't do a nickname for Kamala because that's the double whammy. She's a woman and black. You can't, or it's not going to end well for you. It's not going to end well for you, MAGA Nation. Besides the fact that she's probably been called any and everything under the sun since she was a kid. She's got snapbacks and responses on speed dial. She's going to be better at it than you. That's not a fight you want to do. You don't want to go down that road. Okay. As potential replacements for Kamala, there's a very small list. It's got to be somebody with name recognition. that could step right in. So that's going to be a list of people like Gavin Newsom, Hakeem Jeffries. Although Gavin Newsom, his recognition is both positive and negative. That one's shaky. All right. So if Harris remains the nominee, who is on the list for vice president? Well, I'll give you the short list of the most likely candidates. Okay. You got Hillary, which I don't think she would come out to be vice president to Kamala. Don't think that's going to happen. All right. You got AOC, who again, she's kind of a firebrand, and she might be too young. Okay, I know that sounds funny. Biden's too old, Trump's too old. She might be too young. All right. You got Stacey Abrams and Elizabeth Warren. I mean, I think all of them can do the job. But I'm just going to be honest with you. There's no way that and we'll just say it like this, there's no way the patriarchy or America is going to allow two women, the president and vice president. That's not going to happen. Don't blame, don't shoot the messenger. But I'm saying it, and you know I'm being truthful, and you know I'm right. It's not going to happen. Two women in the White House. That would be a mistake. Okay, to try that. President and vice president. They're not ready. Not ready. Okay? So that leaves a man as a vice president. Okay? I'm going to give you that short list. Okay? We've got Cory Booker. Okay. Does he really want to do that? Who knows? Beto O'Rourke. I think he's probably had too many bats at the plate. I don't think, and he's just struck out a few times. I don't think that they would put him as the vice president. That leaves two really who I think. Okay, one, Pete Buttigieg. Hey, he's white. He's a male. He gets you the LBG. He gets you the alphabet letter gang vote. I can't remember all the letters, but he's very progressive, very popular. I mean, heck, if he weren't married to a man, they might try to slide him in as president, but I don't think America's ready for that either. That's not going to happen. Plus, he balances out J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance was getting handled by MAGA world because his wife is Middle Eastern, and boy, they didn't like that at all. This white man with this Middle Eastern woman, all kinds of racist stuff got said to her by his own people that are supposed to be voting for him. Not my problem, okay? But if not Pete Buttigieg, Warnock. He is from the South. He's a minister. You can't be a Christian, God-loving Trump supporter and say anything bad about Warnock. He is a literal man of God. Again, can't come up with no bad nicknames for him either. What are you going to say? Churchy Church Warnock. What are you going to say? You can't say anything bad about him. Okay? That's my short list. I gave you 8 names. I really only think 2 of them are really viable, but again, I can't see the future. I could just make some really good guesses. Okay? Maybe it's somebody out of left field that I haven't thought of. All right, that's possible. So, lastly, Republicans, when Biden announced, it didn't take long. This was just a couple of hours ago, sometime today. Republicans have been saying, well, if you're not fit to run for president, you should resign. You should resign today. Have you guys not been listening? You don't think these things through. You really don't. Because that automatically makes Kamala president for the next couple of months, if that were to happen. All right, that's number one. But number two, it's really poor. Really, how did the Joker say? Oh, that's a poor choice of words. Let her go. Poor choice of words. Woo-hoo-hoo. No. This man still has 3.5 months. Your Supreme Court has already given broad immunity powers to the president in the function of their duties. You keep yelling and screaming at this man to get out of the White House. He's got 3.5 months. I'm not saying that he would. I'm not saying that he will. I'm saying you really didn't think this through. You are. Don't poke the bear. Let sleeping dogs lie. You better let you keep calling him Sleepy Joe. You better let him nod off and go to sleep. I really think he's dropping out because he got COVID, and that COVID is probably kicking his butt. Hopefully he, I don't wish anybody any bad. Hopefully he gets well. But you better let that sleeping dog lie. You better leave him alone because he got 3.5 months and nothing better to do and nothing to lose. And, bro, mark my words. You didn't want to hurt me, but I'm trying to tell you, you better leave that old man alone. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a good night. Mark my words. Those 8 people that I named, I'd be surprised if it was somebody other than that. But anyhow, y'all have a good night. Thank you again. Oh, and don't forget, like my video. Thank you.